Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel, Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant content, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. So it's actually been quite some time since I've last posted a video on my channel, and it's actually one of my New Year resolutions to be able to create more content and just be more active in the hair loss community and hopefully bring about some new content and just different varieties. If you have any suggestions on content creation or any good ideas, please do let me know. I'm really open to any comments and ideas that you guys have so that I can better interact with you guys in any ways possible. But I finally wanted to give you guys an update on the use of topical dutasteride for the past year and a half. There's been a lot of people that have been asking me for an update and just to kind of see how it's been working out for me. I know some of you guys also wanted me to do a comparison of topical dutasteride with oral finasteride, and I will be going over that all in this video today. I started using topical dutasteride back in August 2022, so it's roughly been about a little less than a year and a half. I was previously using oral finasteride 1 milligram once a day, but then decided to switch over to topical dutasteride to see if it would help mainly with the retrograde alopecia. You guys can kind of see right there, it's pretty thin, and these are just afflicted on the sides of my head. I didn't have any side effects from oral finasteride, and it actually did a good job of helping me maintain my existing hair. Also, after my 2 hair transplants at Motion Clinic, but it didn't really help improve the condition on the sides of my hair. So I decided to try hopping on topical dutasteride for the next year in hopes of using a stronger 5-AR inhibitor. I was gonna try the oral medication route of taking half a milligram of dutasteride, but honestly, I wanted to see if the topical application directly on the scalp would be more efficacious. Not so much regrowth, but being able to kind of straighten the existing hairs, the miniaturized hairs and the thinness that just kept on persisting. So I started using the topical application of dutasteride, 0.1% concentration, which is 1 milligram of dutasteride per every 1 milliliter of solution. And the one that I was using was from a company called Hemia Cosmetics. I didn't have any side effects, thankfully, and honestly speaking, it still did a good job of helping me maintain my hair. I noticed very little to no miniaturization on the hairline, on the mid-scalp, or on the crown area. And in my personal experience, topical dutasteride felt like it was actually on par to that of oral finasteride. However, after using it for a year and a half, I still did not see any improvement to the hairs on the side of my head. And I've also had a few people asking me to try hopping onto a liposomal formulation of topical dutasteride, for deeper penetration and systemic availability. And in theory, it's likely to have significantly higher skin permeation compared to hydroalcoholic solution and conventional gels. There are some studies out there that show that topical medications loaded with a liposomal system can exhibit a higher deposition of drug in the skin. But I really haven't considered that route. My ideal next step would be to target the retrograde alopecia through the use of oral minoxidil. I think in my case, a 5-AR inhibitor has done its duty of preventing further miniaturization. And what I really want is to have a growth stimulant to try to revive and potentially straighten, thicken, and even regrow the areas on the sides of my head. There's a lot of people who have hopped onto oral minoxidil and they started seeing some really incredible hair growth, not just on the scalp, but all throughout their bodies, their eyebrows, their eyelashes, facial hair. And in my opinion, it's one of the more efficacious hair growth stimulants out there on the market. The only thing is that while it's going to be effective for most people, most tend not to use it as a primary source of hair loss treatment because of the potential side effects, especially being that it is a hypertension drug. But like I said, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of good improvement that have been using oral minoxidil, even as monotherapy, even without finasteride or dutasteride. And this is something that I really have been kind of contemplating for some time now. If I do decide to hop on oral minoxidil, I'll likely be taking a lower dosage initially, maybe around 2.5 or 5 milligram once or twice a day, and just kind of see how I respond. And maybe I will up the dosage depending on how well I obviously respond. I'll also be talking to my cardiologist to see if there are any concerning alterations or issues to my heart or blood pressure, because this can be a side effect for some people that are on oral minoxidil. And obviously, in the event of adverse side effects, I will definitely stop using it, because at that point it's just not worth risking it for my health, for some hair, at least in my case. But nothing's really set in stone, and I really don't have a timeline on when or if I plan on taking oral minoxidil. But I will definitely keep you guys posted if I do decide to pull the trigger. As far as topical dutasteride, I think having taken it for the past year and a half is good enough of a time to assess whether it's been efficacious or not. And it has. It's just not to the degree that I wanted it to be. And taking oral finasteride was much easier than applying a topical. And this is currently on top of already using topical minoxidil and pyrolutamide. So I do plan on stopping topical dutasteride and jumping back on 1 milligram of oral finasteride tablets. Now, as far as the retrograde alopecia on the sides, I know it looks pretty bad on the camera. I did talk to several doctors, and the easiest way, if medication doesn't work out, is to obviously get a hair transplant to the surrounding areas to increase the density on the sides of my head. But I also don't want to waste additional, finite grafts to an area that isn't going to be my primary concern for hair loss, especially when I can just cut buzz cut it short to keep the hairs from growing out and limiting it from looking thin. So it's really a dilemma in my case, because there are also times when I do want to try to grow it out for different hairstyles. So we're just kind of have to wait and see. If I do continue to thin, I'll likely lean towards oral minoxidil before considering hair transplant, only to see if the medication is going to do anything. And once it gets really bad, I'm really going to have to start thinking of getting my third hair transplant. I think, even just a few hundred grafts implanted onto the sides of my head is going to make a huge improvement. But like I said, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I will likely start oral minoxidil first before considering getting hair transplant. And, over the past 7 years since my very first hair transplant, the sides, unfortunately, have been getting progressively worse, but it's been getting worse at a pretty slow and steady rate. So I'm going to have to wait a bit more to see if it progresses in the next year or so. But yeah, that's basically, the update for topical dutasteride. Overall, it's been a pretty effective 5-AR inhibitor in topical form. Hopefully other users have seen better results and even regrowth. If you guys are currently taking topical dutasteride and have seen some pretty good improvement, let me know in the comments below. I'd be pretty interested to see how much of a transformation topical dutasteride has been able to bring around for you guys. We don't have much studies backing up topical dutasteride, and even more so, long-term studies or even, updates from people that are using it. So it's going to be very helpful to see how it's been working out for some of those that are currently taking it. But that wraps it up, guys. As always, thanks for all of your support. Make sure to hit that like button. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can make sure to leave them in the comments below. And until then, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care, guys. Thank you.